Record.
Welcome back, guys, to our podcast again, Classic Culture, with my co-host, IFBB Pro, John Lofthouse, our amazing guest today, Giant Johal, which we just figured out that his real old surname was called Big.
Yep. Ironic.
So imagine Jamie Big. I just called him a porn star. You know, Jamie Big sounds like a porn star.
Hey, I wish I was, but the wife would be the first one to tell you I'm definitely not.
That is an epic name, though, Jamie Big.
Yeah,
How come you changed it? Or your mum
changed it. I was too young to say no.
Yeah, I guess. Well, you can always deep-Paul it and go back to Jamie Big, a.k.a. the Giant. That is some serious shit down there.
You're missing branding there.
They wouldn't believe me, would they? They'd be like, "Oh, you dick! You changed your name."
Yeah.
That's my name.
Well, here's the stamp on the podcasts. On this episode, we can always say, you know what? He actually said it. He actually told us. So
it's the truth.
There you
go. It's
the
truth.
I was speaking to my barber the other day, and he's setting up a podcast as well. And his name is Joey Power. I was like, what a name. I was like, you must have got laid so many times just off your name. Introducing yourself. What's your name? Joey Power.
Yeah. Legit. That's
what
great.
a name. What a name.
He must have changed that one.
No, he didn't. He's born with it.
The Power family.
His second name is Power. Joey Power.
Is he brothers with Austin?
Yeah. That's what he should call his son.
Yeah.
No.
He's just had a daughter, Tallulah. That's a nice name.
Oh,
Tallulah,
nice name.
Powerful names. Literally.
So, guys, tomorrow, gyms are opening.
Yeah.
Are we excited, or are we just,
To be honest with you, I own a gym, so I'm a little bit nervous. And for me, there's the selfish element of I've been able to train in a full gym myself for so long, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what James Hollingshead said.
Yeah, you're going to have all the questions. How's your prep going? How long left?
Yeah.
Are you struggling? Fuck's sake. Oh, God. I'm excited, but at the same time, there's a little bit of anxiety there as well.
So what's your setup like in the gym now? So, like, one-way systems, or are you blocking some areas, or is it one-way system out, in and out, or how does that work for you?
To be honest with you, we've took a common sense approach. My view is that anybody that's kind of feels at risk won't come to the gym anyway. So I feel as though a lot of people putting in measures for people that aren't even going to come.
Yeah.
That might be a silly way to look at it, but I don't think it is. I think it's just common sense. So
no, I think that is common sense.
The people that will come to the gym, I think they'll all be respectful that they've had so long of not being able to use it. They're going to adhere to the guidelines, which is just clean your stuff after you've used it, put your own weights back. Masks are optional. If we feel the capacity is getting out of hand, we've got a booking system that we can put in place, but we're not going to start one. We're just going to see how it goes. And that's it, really. I've heard all sorts of crazy stories. Did you hear the Emporium?
Yeah, I read the post the other day. I thought, you're just ruining your business, surely, doing all that.
I don't think
putting all those measures in place.
Surely.
What are their guidelines, though?
Well, they said on the post they got all these new state-of-the-art COVID suppression systems, cleaning systems, all fucking singing and dancing. Yeah. Safest gym in the country, but to train, it's either £10 for 1 hour session.
Yeah.
Maximum 3 spots a week.
Oh.
You can have a VIP membership of £450 for 12 weeks.
Yeah. Mental.
Which is crazy.
Mental.
It's not like I'm training at Equinox or Oxygen Gym.
I've heard that Muscleworks near us, though, in Kent, are putting their membership. I mean, fortunately, I don't have to pay, but they're putting their membership up to like £60 a month or something as well.
Right.
Just because of all the, they put a third floor in and all the new machines and stuff they put in, they felt like they never charged what they should have been charging. So now they're going to be charging more. Like, surely this is the worst time to increase your price as a gym member, isn't it?
It's true.
As a gym owner. So.
You hit the nail on the head with, they should have been charging more initially. Like, they've always sold themselves with that gym because it's such a fantastic gym.
Yeah.
But in business, it's very hard to go backwards.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
We'll see.
I have it with online clients. You start to improve your service and you feel like it's probably worth a little bit more now. But you have to be loyal to the guys who created your business in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
Difficult to just go and say, oh, you know, now I charge you an extra £50 a month.
Just increase your prices. Be loyal to the guys that pay less, but do a worse job, and they'll just drop off. Not really. I mean,
well, it's not that.
I love that. Just out with the old and the new.
Exactly. Yeah. Fresh start is always good.
Now, I think when you start in a gym and you pay membership and you see it growing, and then you see the owners of that gym actually trying to improve, you know, getting new equipment, you know, putting new showers, blah blah. You kind of feel a bit more involved, that, you know, you're making the business work as well as a member.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't see this happening often. I mean, I remember going to Muscleworks back in Bethnal Green when it was, you know, the one underground, and the guy never did anything. So you pay your membership, you don't know, you know, and then 2-3 weeks later he comes up, he pulls up with a new Mercedes, and you think, okay, that's where the money's going, you know.
There's a comment on the Muscleworks page. I don't know if you've seen it, but someone put in as many words, well, you've got to pay for the Bentley somehow.
Wow.
I think John was like, the Bentley was paid for years ago. You know.
Yeah.
It is a great gym. I've never used it, to be fair. I'm looking forward to trying it.
I think, is it John, the owner? He was you know, self-made before he had the gym anyway.
Yeah.
That's why he created it.
That he's ran the gym at a loss for 3 years or something, and this is a time to try and make it more about business than just being a nice guy. So there's definitely more to it, and I think the gym, as good as it is, I think people will go to it whatever they charge in obviously relative reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
Saying that, what's the deal between John, the owner of Muscleworks Orpington, to Sav, who owns the actual rights to Muscleworks, Bethnal Green, Enfield?
Nothing. They're completely separate.
How did he get the name, though?
I don't think it's copyrighted.
That's the discussion. The Muscleworks Orpington have nothing to do with the chain.
It's true. I mean, if it's not copyrighted, then he can. But
yeah. So I don't know, man.
It's weird.
Can't you trademark a name without going through like legal procedures? I think you can just trademark a name.
You can do it online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you could do it without. You can just say that's trademarked, and you can use TM without going through any legal rights. So you only have to go, if you go for it legally, then you can use the R.
Yeah.
So R is a real. I know because I was looking up about this stuff the other day for something, so but you can use the R is the proper trademark. It's a bit of knowledge for people.
We've got to look into this.
Yeah. So where's your gym, Jamie?
It's in Ilkeston. I pronounce it like that because no one can pronounce it when I just say Ilkeston. So I say Ilkeston. Try and overpronounce it, which is Derbyshire. If you're going down the M1, it's like junction 26. So not too far away. It's an old school setup in terms of some of the equipment's been there like 30 years. We've had the gym 3 years, and what we've done is just invested back into the gym year on year, to the point now where I'd say we've got everything you need to have like a good session for everything there. So we just replaced a lot of the older equipment with the grant that we got from obviously COVID, which is great.
Yeah. Okay.
So the members have got 11 new pieces to go back to, which is obviously fantastic. And membership prices are staying the same.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I'm not sure. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask if would you say your gym sort of like your memberships and that have increased as your profile personally has increased as a bodybuilder?
It's a difficult one.
Is it you that attracts the people to the gym, or is it the gym itself?
I think I've attracted members, but what I've also found is that there's an element of like intimidation because I own the gym. It's like, I've had this said to me by a few people, so it's not just something I'm plucking out of the air, but everyone must be massive there.
Yeah.
And he owns the gym, so the standard of people in there is going to be really high.
I
guess it's quite intimidating for your general fitness goers, so they'll go to a Snap Fitness or an Anytime, which we have both in the area.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping, obviously over time, I do a lot of Facebook interaction with the gym page, that they just begin to see me as a normal person, not this bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And I feel as though with the new equipment that we've invested in, the migration of just general fitness goers will definitely occur. So fingers crossed. But it's not been, you know yourself, John, I imagine, that you have a vision of what will happen when you get this pro card. And then it just doesn't, you know, you're right, my followers are going to go up to 100,000. I don't know what you're following, it's probably a lot higher than mine. But, you know, I was on probably high 20s and I'm on like nearly 45. So not a drastic change. But what will happen is when you compete, you get known by the American market, and then I think it starts to kind of spiral a bit more. Yeah. But it's a fucking slow burner.
We spoke about this last time, didn't we?
Yeah, I said this. I was like, nothing changes, man. Nothing changes. I think, like you say, with the followers, I was on about 10,000. I'm on like 14 now. I'm pretty shit with Instagram. I've only put up about 30 posts in the since like 6 months. I'm quite active on my story, but my actual feed is shocking. But yeah, nothing changes. The pro card don't change shit. No. You still have to put the work in, you know, to get yourself out there.
Definitely.
I think, like you say, the American market will. I think that picks people up. When I see Luke go into the American market, a few other guys, then their followers definitely took a huge jump. You know,
100%.
But nothing really changes when you get a card, does it?
The trouble is, you know, when we turn professional, it's just that we become the shittest pro from one of the best amateurs. We're right at the bottom of the pile again. So we just add more pressure. And then once you're in the limelight, you'll quickly realise that when you're kind of doing the YouTubes, I just had a mention on RX Muscle this week, which is great. But with that comes an element of like being trolled. Like you think you get trolled on Instagram as a fucking amateur or someone that has not got a big following. These guys are just hiding under some bridges somewhere, waiting for you to get on a show viewed by 1,000. It's like, well, how many comments say fucking he skipped calf day? I'm like, fuck off. Like, there's a lot more to look at than a set of calves.
That's true.
I get the same thing with my calves from one particular person.
They're there, they're in the background. If I ever hit, I'm used to that.
There's just a lot of people out there who are quick to shoot people down, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the world.
I think when you turn pro, John, you're not looked at by amateurs anymore. I mean, you do get looked at by amateurs, but because you've got that status now, the upper guys start looking at you. I was like, oh, he's a newcomer. He's a new guy. Let's slice him up now. You know,
I had beef with Logan. I don't know his second name.
Oh yeah, Franklin, I think.
Yeah, that's it, Franklin. Yeah, I had not real beef with him. I basically just put a comment. Old School, who fucking sponsored me, done a video. And said about Logan Franklin being possibly the next Mr. Olympia, the only guy they could see to beat Christopher Bumstead.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I went mental. I was like, fuck off. I was like, Logan Franklin. So I commented and told him that I was going to be better than him and tagged him in it on Instagram. And I never do that. But I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, let people know about me. And then he messaged me just basically laughing. And I just said, just watch, mate. Don't worry.
You know what? That's a great point, though, because I feel as though, as pros, we do need to make shit happen for ourselves. You need to get yourself in the conversations, and there's only one way to do that. A, wait till you compete, or B, get yourself fucking out there. Get yourself in the mix of these conversations.
Yeah, you have to. You have to throw your own name in the conversation. You have to.
100%.
See how it works with generally with athletes in the United States, like coming from team players. It works like, okay, you're part of the organization. For example, you're a basketball player, play for the Chicago Bulls. You're part of the franchise, but at some point you become a free agent. So you're the franchise now. All right. So you have to do your own shit from that point. And for me, when I look at bodybuilders like yourselves, you start as a free agent. There's no one behind you to actually pay you. So you have to make shit happen for yourself first. And it's quite hard, it's a 24-hour thing that you have to do. I mean, we diet, we train, we have families. Some of us have jobs, and even though you're called a pro, that is still not your main job. It's weird.
It is. And, we have to keep working hard at our main jobs. If that's the coaching, then that's the coaching. But that is the bread and butter. If we get to a standard where we get a sponsor that's going to pay us X amount of money, and that is not a secure income. They can drop you whenever they want.
Yeah.
So yes, I've got a great sponsorship, but
Yeah.
how long is it going to last? It's really down to you and down to the company.
True.
So yeah, you've got to have that support system. I mean, I know you had James on the podcast. You said
Yes.
James he's a guy that's just throw all his eggs in one basket. Got a nice sponsorship with Redcon, but I know it's not like a crazy sponsorship. You know, he's not getting paid 5 to 10K a month.
Still got work.
That's it. He just wants to concentrate fully on bodybuilding. And to be fair, I couldn't do that from an income perspective. With what I have outgoing, trying to save for buying a house and stuff like that, I need that extra income. So I am a bit envious of James with the foresight to be able to do that. But fingers crossed we can kind of get there and have this stress with having to work and provide an income alongside the bodybuilding as well.
Yeah.
True. I always feel like the title or the IFBB Pro title, the way I look at it myself, I don't know if you guys could agree or not, but obviously give me how you think about this. I mean, I always feel like the title IFBB Pro sets a platform for you, like a little structure for you, for people to see, okay, he's a pro, I should go and approach him because he's done it all. He's got the status of an IFBB Pro, but you as an amateur, you don't have that status. People don't even know who you are, So I think you guys have a better chance of building up a better platform, to start new businesses and move forward.
I disagree completely. I wholeheartedly disagree. You see guys like we had TM Cycles on the other day. You know how much money? I'm not going to speak about money. That's his business. But he's caning it, bro. He's caning it. Josh Bridgman, caning it. I think with social media, I think it's nice to have the IFBB Pro card. It's nice to get that respect, and probably you're going to get certain guys that are going to come to you a bit more because
But these are two different jobs here, John.
But it's not.
He's not an athlete anymore. Like there are guys who don't even compete that make double what he does. So we're talking about two different animals here. Do you want to be an IFBB Pro and compete and make money from competing and business alongside it? Or do you want to be the guy who's a social media complete 100% laser focused on that?
Yeah, but you're saying if you have an IFBB Pro card, you have a chance to make more money. I'm saying you don't. I'm saying there's bodybuilders out there who are earning more and they don't have the IFBB Pro status because they're better on social media.
That's one of the keys here is that the guys that are just doing social media, not pro, they're relatable and they're seen as being achievable. The achievable physique that they have is more relatable to the customer.
Yeah.
So as pros, we've got to kind of sell ourselves, I guess. We've got to convince people that, no, it's okay. You don't have to look like us, but we can make you better what you want to look like. I don't know whether they feel pressure. Again, with the gym memberships, some people feel pressure to come to the gym just because it's owned by a profession, and they shouldn't. But yeah, do you do YouTube, John?
Yeah, I've just been started. So I started YouTube like during lockdown. Well, I was doing it a bit before. I was doing it with a friend, but now I'm just doing it by myself.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I've only got like 500 subscribers, but it's crazy what 500 subscribers has just done for my engagement, for my online client base. Like it's crazy,
Yeah. No,
it's
a good thing to do.
So what I was saying is like, obviously being an IFBB Pro, is probably good in the long run. We've probably got more of a structure to have the opportunity to have a much bigger business. We've definitely got that platform to have the opportunity to have a much bigger business, obviously, because we're competing in shows around the world that have got a lot of exposure, but doesn't necessarily mean you're going to earn more. I think it's just down to the person.
Oh, 100%.
It's just down to the person, I think the opportunity is greater, but whether you take the opportunity or not.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's like James. Not talking about income again, but I earn more money than James because I put myself out there away from bodybuilding to earn more money. Yeah. James has the same opportunities, but his choice is not to take them at this present time.
Yeah.
It's just how it works, isn't it?
You
earn what you're prepared to fucking work for, basically.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I'll tell you this story very quickly. I have a friend of mine who attended the YouTube headquarters opening in Dubai a few years ago. Oh, cool. And he was telling me the stories of who arrived to the party and whatever the exhibition they had, the grand opening and everything. And he actually obviously spoke to a lot of people in there, and he's obviously networking and all this bullshit. So he actually told me there are a lot of guys out there and girls, they would take out loans from banks for them to buy that Rolex or to buy that, those Prada shoes or to hire a Ferrari just for the content.
Wow.
That makes them money back, that would make them money over on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit misleading if for the younger generation, when they look at guys who have good physiques, but then he's driving a Ferrari, they're selling the wrong idea to the youngsters. And this is where I completely disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I hate the fucking influencer hype. With bodybuilders, we love to train.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what car you drive, what trainers you wear, if you've got a Rolex. That, I've got some nice things, but I don't go around throwing them out there because I just think, why? Worked hard for them, not to show them off, but to just look at them and think, you know what, I fucking worked hard for that. I think that's when your following becomes a bit fake, or
definitely
not what you kind of started it out to be.
Yeah, need to stay humble to the reason you started your content, innit?
Yeah.
So I think now you two have to focus on the debut, right?
100%, yeah.
We were speaking about that before we started recording, didn't we?
So Jamie, what show are you doing?
Well, I would love to have competed in America this year. I was targeting the California show, which is like 8 weeks away, I think. But I just kind of knocked that on the head because flights to America, I feel, I've had knowledge from people who know more than me as well, that even up till the end of the year, maybe even the Olympia will be difficult to get to. So me targeting a show in California in 8 weeks is just fucking stupid. I would rather have a clear vision towards one goal that I know is going to go ahead. So that's a Spain show in 11 weeks. And I know John's going for that one as well.
Yeah, I'll be going just to support John. I was supposed to be doing that show too, but after being hit with COVID, my body's not responding as quick because I had to, bring my immune system back to normal. So I had to eat normal, a lot of fruits and vegetables and other sources of food. I couldn't restrict myself, if that makes sense. Yeah. So John suggested that I do next year, but I think there are a few guys doing Alicante, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. You said didn't you say all you guys are doing it? James, Cuba, myself's doing it. I know Jace, he's an online coach doing the amateur show. And I know people doing the amateur show. I know loads of people going, to be fair. It's going to be a UK takeover. Yeah,
it'd be really good. I think a lot of the people who do the British finals as well, because the British is in 8 weeks or 7 weeks, I think they'll just roll over to the Spain show. I mean, I train with Jimmy Tonk, who's trained by JP. I know a guy called Gary from Scotland who's got a great physique, Andy Scott's training partner, Joe Ballinger. There's so many people doing that British finals that pro or amateur, when they come out of it, will definitely go to Spain as well. Yeah, so, it'd be a UK takeover for sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Actually,
you've got many people coming out to support you.
Well, funny story. My missus had double booked me. She'd got a friend's birthday party in Ireland, so she was like, "Well, I can't tell my friend that I can't go to her birthday party because of your pro debut." I was like, "Oh no, it's only a little thing, babe. Don't worry about it." Yeah, do you know what I mean? So anyway, that's off the back of a missing me getting the pro card, because the pro card win was in Italy, and I said I had a show planned in 2 weeks later, which is the Amateur Olympia back in the UK, and I said, "Don't worry about coming. I'll go out there myself. I've won my class 3 times already this year and not got the overall, so don't bother." And then I fucking won. So she missed that. She's going to miss the pro debut. And then I think she felt that guilty. But in the meantime, my mum said, "I'll come." And then she was like, "Your brother wants to come as well." So I booked flights and a hotel for me, my mum, my brother. And then I think Katie, my wife, was like, "I've got to come." So now she's coming as well.
Oh, good.
She's
letting me that, man. That's a big moment.
It is. And I know Cuba was wanting to get us all in a villa, but I know you said you'd probably get Cuba on the podcast. You'd have to ask him about this. If he doesn't say, he's definitely lying. But his timekeeping is of the worst I've ever fucking witnessed in my life.
Well, hence we don't have him on the show yet.
Yeah. So basically, could you imagine peak week in a different country on Cuba time? Oh man, it stressed me out so much that I booked my own apartment.
Yeah, no. I booked in. Where are you booked in? I booked into the Hotel Eureka or something.
I don't know, you know. I think it's like my place is 10 minutes away from the venue, so it's not too far.
Nice.
It's like an apartment, because I've always found traveling abroad, you need an apartment so you can cook your own shit and have a bit more scope for. If you're in a hotel, then it's more difficult to prep.
Yeah. I know. I've got my family. I've got a villa that I'm going to be cooking in.
Oh, wicked. Yeah,
so it's fortunate. I'm just going to sleep.
We've all done the hotel where we take a rice cooker and a grill. Yeah. And we put a sock over the sensors.
Yeah. Tiny little room, red hot, sweating. Not good.
And then once the alarm goes off, you put the hot water on for them not to know that you're cooking. It's like, oh, sorry, I left the door open.
Yeah, that times.
Yeah, the British final, Nottingham. That's every year.
Yeah, I heard a story about. Do you know? Used to be the Active Channel. And there used to be a guy on the Active Channel with funny coloured hair. What was his name? Rob Still a Monster.
Robbie Ancient, yeah.
That's it, yeah. I remember a story from the British finals one year. He had a fucking George Foreman grill on the go in one of the halls, cooking his chicken. Set the fucking fire alarm off. It's like, what are you doing?
But Robbie is Robbie. If you look at his Facebook, you can tell what kind of guy he is. He's a funny guy.
Crazy mofo.
So it's so now Jamie, this is a question everyone's going to ask. Mm-hmm. I mean, how tall are you? What are you, 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'5", 195 centimeters, and
yeah. So 6'5" with those aesthetics. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. So let's. I mean, I'm just saying here. But for someone that tall. And we've seen it back in the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s. We've seen Tony Freeman. We've seen even Dennis Wolf, and you're kind of following that kind of path of keeping the small waist with that X frame.
Yeah.
How what do you do? I mean, what's your training like? How do you keep that gut tucked in? I mean, because we're classic physique guys, we admire bigger guys with that kind of with those kind of aesthetics.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it is to do with basically, and this is probably going to get some people's flames because they're expecting some elaborate answers and secrets. I do think it's to do with just how big I am. How long my torso is. Yeah. That means I have a larger digestive tract and I can handle more food. I think that when shorter bodybuilders try and grow, and they force feed to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 calories, which I eat, well, that's just too much food to their body to handle. Mm. So then when they put GH and insulin on top of all that food, their fucking gut just grows. Mm. That's the kind of food thing, I think, and the genetic component of it. Training-wise, I always wear a belt. I think that's important to just make sure that your core doesn't relax too much whilst you're training. Yeah. I had an argument with someone online the other day, and I thought this was just common sense that I said about training abs, and please do not do the side bend weighted abs like this fucking thing.
Yeah,
I was like saying
that doesn't do anything.
My routine.
That doesn't do
my routine for 20 years.
I think it makes it thicker, right?
I've seen someone do it holding two plates. So they got a plate in the right and a plate in the left, and they're going down one side and then down the other side. You're just rocking. Just rocking. Side to side, you're just rocking. There's nothing going on there.
Mobility exercise.
Yeah.
So I think
plate around the head.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say about ab training, guys? I think you should keep it really basic. Nothing too kind of heavy on the weighted side of it.
I only do body weight stuff, and I only do it once a week. Yeah. I just train it like I would any other body part. Like I train it once, and I train it quite hard, but I only train it with body weight. So I'm just doing like hanging leg raises. Oh no, I do like to do the old Arnie style. Rope overhead crunches.
On the knees crunches. Yeah,
that's the only weight thing I do. I don't do nothing weight. Huh?
That's the only two exercises I do: the hanging leg raise and the weighted crunch. I do 3 supersets probably once.
Yeah, that's it. Hit the bottom abs and it hits the top abs.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I do. When you're doing so many compound movements throughout the week and you're bracing your core, like 10 reps, 3 sets across multiple exercises every week, you don't need to train that much.
No, definitely not. This is something that I know you guys are probably more familiar with than me, but it's something that I want to get into, but I've just not yet because I know it's so fucking hard, and that's pulling a vacuum.
You got to do it.
Saying to myself,
he's the guy. He's the
guy.
Every morning for the last 3 weeks, and Jimmy's been telling me as well, that front would look wicked with a vacuum. Yeah,
man. I mean, it depends on what shape your rib cage is, but if you've got a decent rib cage, then it would look the nuts. But you know what the vacuum is amazing for? Is I'll argue this with anyone, is anyone's side chest looks better with a vacuum.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a full vacuum, but it's just the notion of pulling your abdominals into your spine. It just makes your waist disappear. And then the proportions of, big legs and then the big upper torso with the no waist, it looks amazing. I've never seen anyone.
It does push the chest up as well, John.
Mate.
Yeah.
Once you do that, the chest goes up with it,
Yeah.
But I got 11 weeks to pull a vacuum. There we go.
I'm sure you could do that.
You just need, obviously just practicing. I'll send you a routine that I do if you want.
Yeah, wicked.
I do a routine. I don't do it every morning now, but I do it a few times a week. But I used to do it every morning.
Let's put a fact in here that no one knows.
Okay.
Do you know that Jay Cutler actually pulls a vacuum, but because his rib cage is so big,
so does Flex
Lewis.
It
doesn't show. Yeah.
So does Flex Lewis. You watch him when he pulls up into his front double bicep. He's pulling his abdominals in as hard as he can. That's essentially a vacuum.
Yeah.
But it's just because of the shape of the rib cage. Jay Cutler has a huge rib cage.
Yeah.
As soon as he hits it, it only shows the frame of the abdominals going in.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's because they're so goddamn big. The only guy I've seen pull off a vacuum that size, Luke done it decent.
Yeah.
But I don't know his name. Jason. Is it
Jason Hua?
Yeah.
Jason Hua.
He does a vacuum, and he's massive.
Wow. I think it just generally is practice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Practice.
Yeah.
100%. Not something you can just fucking wake up and do.
No, it's basically, Jamie. I'm sure you probably know that. It's the flexibility of the inner abs. Let's put it very nice and easy for everyone. It's the flexibility of the inner abs to go in, because we're used to pushing it out. No one's used to pulling it in. So it's just that flexibility to be able to pull it in.
Yeah.
And believe me, 11 weeks is more than enough. You might be better next year as you go ahead.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'd love to come do some posing with you, man, and try and do that, because I reckon you could make a few of your shots look immense with your proportions that you have. You've got big quads, wide lats. If you could just pull even just a semi vacuum and some of your free posing, it would look fucking insane.
Well, I'm going to get practicing, and then we'll plan a hookup for sure. Because I guess you're south based. Whereabouts are you?
Yeah, I'm down in Essex.
Yeah.
Down in Essex. Yeah. So.
Can you tell by the accent?
Well, I didn't want to throw it out there, but
I don't think
definitely make the trip south.
Yeah.
I want to go to Muscle Works and stuff anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll come to Muscle Works. Come down my gym, Stackhouse. I've got a good gym.
Yeah.
Wherever, man. Yeah, wherever.
Sorted. Definitely.
So Jamie, do you have any like signature poses that you hit like that would suit your body, obviously, and there are things that you would never do, like for example a most muscular with both arms together or something like that? Like, do you have any shots that you would not do?
I'll start with the signature pose. I'm always known for my front lat spread. I think everybody knows me for that shot. I don't know, I guess that shows off the X frame the best. So that shot's always been a favorite.
Shows your
most muscular is a difficult one because I'm so long. So to look wide in that most muscular shot or look as thick as some of the short guys, very difficult. I almost have to go into a front relaxed spread and then bring my arms in without pulling my shoulders back in.
Right.
So that took a bit of time to kind of nail. It almost feels awkward still, but if it feels awkward, then I know it looks right. Back double's been a difficult.
Crab most muscular.
Yeah, I've tried, but things just seem to get lost.
Oh, really?
I don't know. We'll come for some posing. We'll try some different things out.
Did you say both hands behind the back?
No, a crab, normal like crab muscle.
Yeah, like
I can't do most muscular how the big guys do. I look like a 13-year-old marathon runner.
Yeah, see, I find that my physique kind of disappears when I try and do anything remotely crabby or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just guess
It's
I'm
weird,
not,
isn't it? It's weird.
I was built to be beautiful.
Yeah. It is weird how some physiques you do a certain pose, it just looks awful. Because I know there's certain poses that I can do, and they're not posted, and they just look absolute dog shit. You wouldn't even.
I post everything, no matter what it is. I just post everything.
Yeah. I find my physique looks better in, like, let's say a front ab shot with the legs just slightly crossed over.
Yeah.
It just makes my shape look better, I think. With my legs stood normal, I don't know. I guess it's because I'm so long again. It just seems to be a bit straight up and down. With the legs crossed, there's just a little bit more going on to distract the attention, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, with most musculars, like, unless you're Branch Warren, the minute you open your legs, the legs look stringy, right?
Yeah. Especially when they're fucking 10 foot long.
well, that's what I mean. I mean, Branch Warren pulls it off from the side, you know?
Yeah.
And Kevin used to do that back in the day, but it's crazy. I mean, I think when I used to compete at the under 90s, I used to do all of them. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care what happens. Just pull all of them over. You know, there's like 36 guys on stage at the British finals. Like, just pull anything off, man.
It's a free for all.
So say that again.
It's a free for all, isn't it? So show.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think about the old? Fuck, my mind's gone blank. What do they do? Free posing when they just put a song on and everyone just goes and pose off.
Yeah.
Pose down.
I actually hate that.
Yeah, I do.
I feel so awkward.
Yeah.
I like hitting my posing routines. I like posing in the lineup. But then when they like stick a song on, pose down, I'm like,
yeah, it's like a fucking dance off, isn't it?
On the Olympia stage, one day maybe that would probably be sick. But
yeah,
a little amateur show, 200 people in the crowd.
No.
Pose down. I'm like, come on, man.
Jamie, when was the first time you did super heavies? Like, you did UKBFF before, didn't you?
Yeah, first time I did the supers was 2015.
So we were together backstage. I remember seeing you backstage.
Okay.
Yeah, but that, I mean, 2015, 2014, there was not much shoving and pushing on stage. But if you remember, from 2007, 2006, 2005, people used to like go for it, you know, like they would shove each other, and like people would try to go backwards, scared, you know, to tip off the little cliff over there, you know. It was mayhem.
I think the gear must have been a lot stronger, like pre-2010. Angry motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, and it's one pro card, man. You know, it's like everyone's running after that one pro card for the year.
Tensions are high. I don't know what year it is. I'll have to find a video and try and share it to you. But there is one video from a British finals. We're talking like mid-90s, and the top 5 get called out in the lineup. They're calling out 5th, 4th. They call out 3rd. 3rd place was not happy. 3rd place got his medal off the lady, threw it, went and grabbed the 1st place trophy off the woman that got the 1st place.
Threw it at the judges.
Threw it at the judges.
Really?
Oh,
what's his name? I forgot his name.
Oh.
Everyone thought that was Steve Avery, but it wasn't Steve Avery. It was I forgot his name. Sorry. You know, I remember who it is. And I remember speaking to Steve Avery about it, and Steve was like, "I swear to God, it wasn't me."
It was good though, good to watch.
It was different. But coming back on pose down, John, what do you think if classic physique do a pose down, but each one in their own like square, in their own space, not to move around, as in do your poses as a pose down, but everyone stays in one line. Just like the old days when Arnold used to do it with Franco. Remember, they didn't move.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think going on the pro stage and out higher than that, it'd probably be all right anyway. It's a bit more of a show, isn't it? I think it's just at the amateur level when there's no one in the crowd, really. It's just a bit. I just feel a bit awkward. I feel like I'm just doing a pose down for my mum.
Yeah, that's it.
Hi, mum.
Blow some kisses and
yeah.
Before getting back on stage, it feels like I've not been on stage in too long. September 2018 when I was last on stage, it feels like longer than that.
Do you still get nervous when you go on stage?
Not really. The only thing I think, and I think this goes for every competitor's head, is you look around and you think, fucking hell, he's big.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm in deep here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
I was saying backstage at the British last year, I was like, fucking hell, I was like, I'm the smallest guy here.
Yeah.
There was like one guy, I think I thought I was bigger than. I thought, fuck, I'm fucked.
What's your
I'm bigging myself up all year.
What's your classic weight, John? Are you close to that, or have you got room?
No, so I can be 98 kilos now. Amateur was 93 and I only came in just under 90.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even at the amateur weight limit yet. So
what height are you?
Just shy of 5'11". I think I'm 5'10", 3/4.
Yeah, but imagine I'm about two centimeters shorter than you, and I need to be 88. Imagine, so that nothing changed for me. I used to do under 90, and now I'm doing classic. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a difference at the pro leg though, because I've got to put 20 pounds of weight on.
Yeah. Have you made a big emphasis on trying to push your weight, or?
No, I won't do it, man. I'm definitely going to be in bigger this year. I reckon I'll probably end up on stage about 92, 93.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I'm already like 94, but it's like what we spoke about earlier, you know, you just diet very, very slowly and very, very consistently. And then when the introductions of, you know, drugs seem to be able to my body weight just kind of stays the same, but I get leaner. It's more just like you said, a body recomp.
Yeah, 100%.
My last prep in the British last year, I started at 90 kilos at 16 weeks out, and I ended on stage at like 89.5. So it's like it was more just a body recomp, and in that time, I went up in body weight and then back down.
Yeah.
So
well, if you start the thing we was talking about earlier, your body weight might go up to 98 by the end of the prep.
Fucking trembling.
Yeah.
Fucking excited. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Honestly.
never. I've always said, I haven't done it yet. People, when I say I haven't done it yet, people think, oh, you're one of them one because he's against it. I've never been against it. I've just sort of taken the steps a bit slower, mainly because I was a bit scared of it. But I always intended to use it, but just at the right time. So now, pro debut, I'm definitely jumping on that shit.
100%.
Some guys call it the wife beater.
The Stella of bodybuilding.
No.
The Stella of bodybuilding.
I should be fine. I think I'm only doing it 6 weeks out anyway.
Yeah, that's a perfect time.
Yeah.
Let's put a disclaimer, guys. We're not promoting anything here, but you know, it's part of the industry, so we're gonna have to talk about it with humor.
Yeah.
So, guys, go for it.
I think what we are promoting is just taking your time with these things, because too many people do rush on. I had a guy in the gym the other day. He's coming back to the gym as a member. He's been obviously in lockdown, training at home, in a pretty shit situation. So I'm like, well, what's your cycle when you start back? Because he was talking to me about starting the cycle. Well, I'm going to take this much tren, this much test, and we'll have some debo. I'm like, you don't compete, do you? And he doesn't compete. He's got a pretty like fairly average, maybe below average physique. And you've got someone like this taking tren. It's not warranted.
No.
No. So yeah, guys, I think unless you compete, it's definitely not a drug you should be using.
No, absolutely.
Sure.
It's a good tool to get you ready for a show, not for you to sit at home and go out partying.
I said the other day, I've lost clients that would come to me because I've said I wouldn't. Well, not because I've said I wouldn't put them on such, but because I said we're not going to be doing this, and they'd be like, you know. And I know, you know, in a month or two when they left, I know the reason was they really just want to push things harder. They felt like I weren't pushing hard enough. But unfortunately, that's not what the game's about. You know, you have to take your time.
And I think people do honestly feel that the drugs play a huge part in looking like we look, when the overriding factor to everything we do is, like we said before, it's the consistency. People can't be as consistent as we are. And that's why they don't get the fucking results. Yeah. So,
go on, John. Say the trademark.
The discipline of consistency.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, you know, Jamie, how have you like grown so much in the last year with Jordan? Have you done anything different? Blah, 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 blah. Every element of my life has just been consistent. The food, not missed a meal, I've tried to prioritize sleep and stress management, all the bullshit, ticking all the boxes. But what do you think about this as well, guys? Something I've been thinking about recently is I feel like people that's young to training, new to training, young in the industry, there's so much information around now that they're so focused on ticking all these different boxes when they first start training.
Box tickers.
Like, they're just too fucking stressed. They don't grow.
I know.
Like, whatever happened, just being relaxed, enjoy your training, eat a lot of food.
Exactly.
That should be 1 or 2 years. And then along the way, okay, we now start thinking about stress and sleep and all this shit.
So
They've taken it too serious, huh?
Yeah.
Oh mate, I had a guy come to me the other day. I spoke to him, and he basically come to me. He was like, mate, the dude I was working for before, he was like, I just couldn't cope. He was like, I was going to the gym with a huge holdall full of bands and cuffs, and I'm not slagging that stuff off. I'm just saying this is what he said.
A notebook,
and cuffs, and books and all this different stuff for training. It was like, I was tracking my sleep, I'm doing my blood glucose levels, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm taking all these supplements for this and that. And I was like, he was like, brother, it's stressing me out. He was like, I just want to train. And I was like, you came to the right place, man.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just chill the fuck out, take it back to basics. Let's get you eating chicken and rice a few times a day and just learn how to train really fucking hard.
It's true.
And we'll just take it from there, But it is, there's so much stuff out there now, and it's good, but it's bad, It's, I think it could be a bit difficult for beginners to try and find where do they start in all this, because they're open to. They're exposed to all of us on social media, so they just get everyone coming at them.
Yeah.
It's
9 times out of 10 as well. It's the fucking Bandites, whatever you want to call them. Ones with all the bands, the one that are doing the perfect tempo.
Bandite.
They're the fucking smallest people in the gym. Don't listen to these cunts. They're not going to tell you anything. It's all the gear, no fucking idea shit in it. Well, they've got all the fucking idea.
I like the word Bandites.
Yeah, Bandites. Bandits.
Bandits.
Oh.
They have their place, but marginally.
Yeah.
It's like
I think application is the key,
Yeah.
You have the knowledge, but you need to be able to apply it. These cunts, they've not got no fucking intensity off. So
yeah.
That's what James Hollington said.
Perfect tempo on 20 kilo aside chest press.
Yeah.
Good luck growing muscle.
Yeah. It's just the execution, isn't it? It's the execution of just learning to train really fucking hard.
It's like, there's a lot of hype around this low volume, high intensity training at the minute, which I do. My sessions are 10 to 12 set workouts. That's just working sets. But there's a massive misconception in the fact that people who perform low volume, they're not training intensely enough, so they're not getting good enough workout. So someone might need 20 sets because they're training like a pussy. You train if you're strong, if you're exerting so much energy in a few amount of sets, then from a recovery standpoint, you're going to need to do less work. Yeah. So there is a misunderstanding.
I have a slight theory of all this low volume, high volume stuff though.
Yeah.
And I may be completely fucking off the ball, but I spent years watching Jay Cutler and the American guys train, and they do quote unquote high volume, compared to a lot of us guys in the Brits who do low volume, we'll only do 1 or 2 working sets.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same because we'll do what you're going to do 2 or 3 warm-ups building up to 1 or 2 working sets, and
then you have a heavy set.
And then you have the heavy sets where you go to failure, and some of them warm-ups can be quite heavy, You're doing, and a lot, I know I do my feel sets at the same sort of rep ranges as my working set, just to build a bit more volume in. Yeah. It's kind of the same as what Jay Cutler used to do, he'll say like, 20 sets, 30 sets for a body part. But if you look at him, he'll count the sets that aren't to failure as well. And he only really used to go to failure by that last sort of set.
Yeah.
And he's even spoken about that on his recent YouTube videos. He'll be like, it's 40 sets, but I might only go to the failure on that last set.
Yes.
It's kind of the same.
I think there's a big argument there as well.
Just the way you talk about it.
Yeah. There's a big argument there for safety, because you're going to be a little bit more tired when you come to that top working set. So you're going to lift a little bit less, which is only going to be beneficial for ligaments, tendons, muscles.
Yeah.
I imagine for longevity, it's probably a safer way to train.
Doing more volume in your field sets leading up to it?
Yeah. I've never really thought of it like that, but the way I'm training at the minute is definitely working. It's something I'll stick with. But one thing I'll do after I kind of reach a happy stage with muscle mass, or when I've finished with the stage, is introduce higher volume for sure.
So will you do less reps in your fill sets leading up to the working weight?
Yeah, so let's say I've got a working set on a Smith machine incline press. I do a feeler set, and let's say it's the first exercise as well, because obviously the more exercise in the workout, the less feelers I'll do. So if it's first, I might do 1 plate aside, 20 reps. And I might add a plate and I might do 10 reps. I'm working up to like 3.5 at the minute, so I might have a feel on 3 and literally just do 3 reps. And then I'll work.
See, that's not far off like me, except for I would probably just do a few more reps on the, not that I can do 3, but the feeler before the big set, I might still keep the reps a little bit higher.
To be fair, a better example would be an incline chest machine press, because I'm doing 6 plates aside on that. So I'm adding a plate each time. So I'll probably start on 20 at 1 plate, 15 on 2 plate, 10 on 3 plate, and then 4 might be 4 reps, 5 will be 2 reps, and then 6 will be max effort. So it will slowly stagger down in the reps.
That's cool. I mean, that's how I used it when I used to do DC.
Probably. Do you do back off sets, Jamie?
I do, yes. Just in terms of like backing off a bit of weight. Again, I think it's like a misconception for people that they feel as though it's backing off intensity.
Exactly.
A maximal effort set, again, it's just...
That's the hardest set.
That's what I mean. That's the reason why I asked.
It's the hardest set with only a little bit less weight, but more reps.
I hate it, You've got 15 to go for, and that's like, for fuck's sake.
People relax in those sets. Like, oh, I'm just going to move some blood in there. No, dude, you actually need to work. They dropped the weight down to like half. I was like, no. It shouldn't be easy. It still should be putting some sort of resistance on you, putting maximum effort, as maximum to going to failure. A lot of the guys go like half the way and just move it a little bit. I've got some more blood in there. Like, dude, you didn't do much,
My back off sets at the minute as well, because I've been doing the same training rotation for about 4 months. My back off sets on like a chest press, 6 plates aside will be working. My back off sets like 5 and a 5 or 5 and a 10. It's literally 20 to 30 kilos less than my working set, and I've just got to get a higher number. That's not a fucking back off, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. It's like when I say to people as well, would you rather do 6 reps of squats or 20 reps of squats? You'd rather do 6.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The back off set does reps at a hard sets, man. I was interested in what you were just saying there about you've been doing the same training split for 4 months, because something I've been trying to bang on to people is, stop changing things around. Once you find something that works, stick with it. Like I've stuck with the same training plans before for up to a year easily. Maybe change 1 or 2 exercises out here and there, but the structure and the split and everything and the main exercise has been the same for a year. I don't think people put enough emphasis on sticking with it for long enough to see that progression.
I think, again, it's human nature for us to find something difficult and try and change it. When something's difficult, that's when it's like Muhammad Ali. I only count the reps when they start to hurt.
Yeah.
So when the training plan starts to get you anxious before a session, when you're thinking, fuck, this is going to be a tough session. That said, I'm thinking about 2 days before I'm doing it. That's when we're sticking with it and trying to push it more. And in prep, when we're obviously going on a bit of a deficit, I think there's a point where we just look to hold strength and just fucking make sure those numbers stick. Instead of being a pussy and changing the exercise, and then what have you done then? You've got no correlation to how strong you are, because it's completely new exercise. So how do you really know whether you're being a pussy or not?
True. Because you're doing a different exercise. The stimulus is different, isn't it?
I think the typical scenario here is that a lot of the amateurs or a lot of the beginners, they start off with a training program for the first 4 weeks, and then another 4, and they'll be like, we're bored. But the thing is, you won't be bored if you're actually putting the correct intensity in there. I mean, I could. James said it the last time. I said you could look at a training program and think, that's piss easy. But as soon as you start putting it in with the detail, you'll be like, okay, that's a different ballgame now. So a lot of the guys I send my programs to, they look at it and was like, why is it so short? It's so short because it's intense. You've got 20 seconds, 30 seconds rest. So I think it's boredom as well as what happens with beginners. The first 4 weeks they see some improvement. The second month they don't see much happening because obviously they haven't stepped up their food, or they haven't stepped up with the weights, or they haven't changed little things in training. Like they don't feel it as much.
I think people want instant gratification, don't they? They want results yesterday. Yeah. Unfortunately, social media's gave them this outlook on what we do being quite easy. And when they struggle, suffer, and think, fuck how things are slow, a lot of them just give up or want change faster. And it's not the case. It's a slow process.
Yeah. You just have to do it for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I was working out earlier. So the first show I did was in 2009. I was 195 pounds. I'm going to step on stage in 11 weeks, 11 years later, and I'm going to be 100 pounds heavier in stage weight. So that's 100 pounds of muscle, but it's took me 11 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a long fucking time. And that's why I want to bring up a point. I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I feel as though the classic class is becoming a class full of amazing athletes, but there's also a lot of athletes in the mix that are kind of giving up on the open class because it's like, shit, I got to put on 10 kilos of weight to be competitive in that class.
Yeah.
I'll do classic. It's almost like for some people, it's the easy way out.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
And I know...
I mentioned it to John the last time. So yeah, continue.
Yeah.
I know I get some flack from this, but I do respect this person as an athlete. And I'm going to give my honest opinion. So we spoke about Jace earlier. Jace competed with me in the Ireland show in 2018 in April. And he was a junior and he competed in my class as well. Now, I saw him as someone that would be a fantastic super heavyweight and with the potential to, with another 10 kilos, do some real damage. Now, he's gone to classic. His physique is maxed out for this classic weight. So he's got to be happy that that's his physique.
Yeah, that's
it. Is it at the class? I'm not sure.
No, he's not classic. He's built for open, man.
He's an open.
I'm good with Jace. I really like it. I'm with him well.
So he should push for open. I nearly made the mistake, and I'm going to call it a mistake because I think it would have been a mistake. In 2017, when I was looking at getting back on stage, it was the time when Regan Grimes went to Dubai, to
Kuwait.
Kuwait. Yeah. It was a time that Cody went, and they both come back because they said it's not healthy to push your weight, and they both went classic.
Yeah. And
so that's when I was thinking, shit, I'm this weight, it's unhealthy. How many years I'm going to be able to do this? I'm a father, I'm a husband. I'm going to do classic. And then I worked out that my weight had to be 255 pounds, and I'm stage lean at 285.
Yeah.
So it's not going to fucking work, is it? And I'll be stringy as hell at that weight. So yeah, if there's anyone watching this and thinking open or classic, is it an easy way out? I would say really consider the fact whether your physique fits classic, because classic for me is someone like John with shape and lines and skill at the art of posing. It's a class that requires a lot of fucking skill.
Yeah,
true. And I feel like there's people with like stiff bodybuilders. I'm classic, they'll just do this.
Yeah.
One hand behind the head.
I have a point to make here as well. I met Jace years ago in my gym. He used to come and train in Physique Warehouse in Surrey.
Yeah.
And obviously he was still a newbie. He didn't even compete back then. And he came up to me and I looked at him. I was like, dude, you have amazing potential to become a bodybuilder. It's like he wanted to do muscle model.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jace, what are you doing? Like seriously, you're a bodybuilder. And I think until this day, he actually says this to everyone. It was Faisal, myself, I'm the one who actually pulled him into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And when he said to me, I'm going classic, obviously, he was close enough to the show. So I can't make, comments when someone's that close to a show.
Yeah, of course.
Until obviously COVID, happened and the world shut down. But I think I agree a lot with Jamie when it comes to Jace choosing classic. I think it's a slight mistake choosing classic over an open class where he could probably fulfill his maximum potential to grow. The guy's tall and he has potential to grow because he's still young.
Yeah.
I think he's limiting himself by going to classic. Plus, obviously, his posing needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, this is not me criticizing him in a way. That's constructive criticism. He needs to work on his posing a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so I think Jamie Dorigo is his coach. I think Jamie Dorigo should really consider that first and actually convince him to get out of it.
Yeah, he's in the right place as well. He's in a great place to just say, fucking right, let's go. Open class, push weight, job done.
Yeah. And I think Regan Grimes, you're talking about Regan Grimes. Regan Grimes ruined classic physique.
Yeah.
Well,
because, temporarily, yes. Because when he came back, he won his qualifier. I don't know how he did that. He was smooth as fuck.
But he done shit in the Olympia.
You know, but I mean, Jamie, you probably don't know. Him and I had a bit of beef, myself and Regan. So I respect him as an athlete, maybe, but you know, I think he needs a lot of growing to do as well. So I think he was still a child, you know, when throwing words on social media and stuff. So I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the athlete, Regan. I think he, by him coming back to classic, he made all of us chase size again.
Yeah.
And he kind of, because he can hit a vacuum, it doesn't mean that you're a classic, you know?
I know. I think I kind of get what you're saying as well with regards to size and classic. I just see my view on classic is some of the guys at the top level are very big. Like you look at Bumstead. Bumstead won his pro card. Was it super heavyweight or heavyweight?
Yeah, he won the super
heavy.
The heavyweights, yeah.
Heavy.
To me, Bumstead even fits into the same category as Jakes in terms of his physique is just crying out to grow. Like he's reached his max potential in that class. And to be fair, he's got the Olympia title, so why would he change? But I would have liked to see Bumstead in the open class because I think that's what the open class needs. It needs more bigger guys with this classic look.
With aesthetics.
And it is changing, you know. You've got people like Regan in the open class. You've got your Sergio Oliviers. You've got your Rafael Brandaus. The look is definitely changing.
Yeah, Rafael is good.
Unbelievable physique.
Florian, the guy who's coached by Patrick Tuohy, looks fucking ridiculous. I think he's about 6 foot as well, which is even stupid for the way he looks.
Yeah.
So the mass monsters, call them mass monsters, I think they're phasing out. But I do think the classic class, a lot of them are big guys. But should some of the big guys like your, what's the Arasha Rabar? Is he classic? Obviously George the Bull, who's never classic. Hopefully more of these guys do filter out. And maybe even like get rid of the weight limits because you've got people like Keown, who is classic all day, that's now reached his max potential and moving up to 212. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I think maybe the weight criteria for classic overshadows the actual look and what you should have for the class.
It's difficult because I've always said I wanted to be about sort of 220 or 220, 225 on stage.
Yeah.
Mainly just coming from back when I used to be like, think, oh, Arnie's 230, 240, 6'2", so I should be about 220. That's just, that was my thinking like years and years ago. But obviously I'm only allowed to be 215, you know?
Yeah.
But we'll see, innit? It would be cool if they had a little bit more weight, but then obviously they have to find a dividing line between what's open and what's classic, don't they? So
I think it's a catch-22, as you said. It's like put on.
Cool is if they took the trunks out, took the classic trunks out, just let us wear trunks and let us do all the poses. I don't know why rear lat spread, front lat spread is not in the mix, and side tricep. Well, I think side tricep's coming in.
Yeah,
I think it should just be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always have this thing that I don't like it being called classic physique anyway, because I do just see it as bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I don't really see the difference, but it's just obviously not pushing it to the same level as the guys.
100% a bodybuilding class, you know. I think people who assume it's classic physique and they mix out with board short physique they're just retards.
I'd rather call it classic body.
Quite frankly,
I'd rather call it classic bodybuilding.
I think it's the segregation of the the segregation of the federation. I think they wanted the pro league, the NPC worldwide wanted to look different from the old IFBB, so they called it Classic Physique. The trunks, however, if we come back to normal trunks, and I think Jamie would agree with me on that.
Not proper cut trunks, but like just
the thicker ones,
trunk.
the long ones, you know, the Arnie ones
that they used to wear, like they actually used to wear. I don't know why they give.
Yeah, but we can choose different colors. We don't have to use obviously black.
Yeah,
because you know, black doesn't go with everyone. I'm not gonna lie.
That Jamie wears.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. If we was to go to normal trunks, the modern cut, this is what it's called.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a glute show again.
Yeah.
And that's not about classic bodybuilding, you know. Yeah, but it's not good for me.
Guys, I'm just going to throw a piss if that's okay.
Do it, man.
Go ahead. It's all
How
good.
long we've been talking?
35-year-old bladder can never last through one podcast.
It's interesting, man. The classic chat continues, isn't it? Like we seem to always come back to this conversation. Like, what is classic?
That's what it is. I think that's what I mean. It's a catch-22 here, and I think you know, Jamie made a good point. Open, you know, if we all go, it's an open way. Then the judging panel has to be different. They need to know what they're looking for, and then we need to know what look they're looking for. Because what's happening here? Imagine now, there's no weight limit.
Yeah.
All the bigger guys are going to jump in. Oh, we're going to do classic to get our pro cards. But then here, there has to be a fine line. Okay, you did come back as a classic, but you don't fit in this, so bugger off.
Yeah.
You know? But this is where we start feeling intimidated. I'm not intimidated, but we start feeling a little bit shit. You know, backstage you're standing and you're looking around. I was like, I look much smaller than everyone else. As you said, it was a head fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so again, if we're going to take the weight out, the weight limit off, that we need to know what look we're going for. Because as I said, Regan Grimes comes back, wins a show with that size, made all of us think, okay, that's what they're looking for. We need to put on more size, hence more compounds. And then this is where everything goes wrong, where the aesthetics go.
I think it's what Samir said. It's at the point mass ruins the aesthetic. That's the dividing line between open class and classic, you know? Because when we spoke to James, and he said, see, man, it's all well and good, like talking to me about doing, you know, all the different poses, all the fancy poses and stuff like that. But he said, you get to a certain size, like his size and Jamie's size and that, where some of those poses just end up not looking as good, you know, as someone they might look on a smaller bodybuilder.
A side tricep could be hard for a super heavy. I've seen it happen. They can't even hold their arms from behind.
There's a lot of guys who struggle. I mean, my flexibility around my back is okay, so and it's quite nice. It's so tight, kind of squashes everything together.
Good. I know what you mean.
Yeah. The lats pushes the tricep out and makes it look even bigger.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's just a look, isn't it? It's like you say, it's at the point where the guys are getting so big that, you know, some of them fucking girly poses don't look that good. Then they're fucking open class, and they should just crack on with those.
I always think it's when you see people's check-in photos on Instagram. There's still a few bodybuilders that I know that are big guys, you know, like 300 pounds, and they're doing the hand behind the head bicep.
Don't look right. Yeah.
Hey,
that's the point where they could just never come back from that. You couldn't just drop down to classic and then try. Yeah. You just got to go full-blooded open.
Yeah.
It's the flip side, isn't it? Because us classic guys don't look good when we just do the most muscular. You know, we don't look impressive like that.
I think it's completely individual to the person. Like, two guys will look great in the same shot. So it's just a case of working out what looks good for you. And that only comes with practice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think your coach should point things out for you too. If you're a coach or if you're being coached, you need to be told, I mean, this doesn't suit you. You know, try something different. You know, a lot of the coaches are like, okay, it looks good, fine, just let it, you know, you're getting leaner, therefore you're ready. I mean, for me, that doesn't work that way.
I've advised loads of my clients in the past not to do classic because their posing sucks. Yeah. They misunderstand classic. Again, they're trying to meet weight requirements when it's not about that. It's about the look.
Yeah.
Mate, you're posing shit. You're not classic.
Yeah.
You have the best.
I suppose that is just the division line, isn't it? It's the posing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say to them, you either invest in posing, like you get someone to help you pose, or you drill yourself once, twice a day for 10 weeks, and we just see if you're good enough. But a lot of them are like, okay, now I've got to do an open class, or now I've got to do a novice class or a first timers. And they get nervous, like the classic class is easier, and it's not the case. So unfortunately, guys, there is a misconception with the class. Especially in like, I went to the PCA finals last year, and the PCA finals classic, there was like 20 guys. Not one of them looked classic.
No.
I
think it's just it's hard, isn't it?
Two bros.
I think a lot of people just not building their physiques with proportions in mind anymore. I think they're just trying to grow as opposed to create a physique, which are two very, very different things, you know?
Yeah.
Like some people have tried to argue with me, like, you just need to, it's not like proportions just come, you just got to train and fucking get. No, you do have to look at your proportions as you grow, you know? Everybody's different. You do have to prioritize certain things if you want to create a certain look.
Of course.
It is like sometimes they're already gone past that point of being able to create a proportionate physique because they just didn't put the thought in when they started.
Yeah.
So speaking of coaches, Jamie, you're with JP, right?
Yeah.
But the question here that I had this question from yesterday, actually, from one of the viewers, and he said, how do you choose a coach?
I think Jordan chose me, to be fair.
the chosen man.
Jamie Joh's like Neo.
Yes, I'm the chosen one. Hey, how do you choose a coach? I think any good coach will be on their social media quite a lot, and they will have posted clients that they have helped. Now, 9 times out of 10, the clients who look good have had a good experience. So you could try and message them just for a bit of like backhanded advice. But as I say, they've probably had a good experience, so they're going to tell you good things. I wouldn't rush into anything. You got to kind of take them on face value, I guess, with their social media content and how many good guys they're churning out. But that's a good place to start, social media, isn't it? If you have people that have worked with them that are friends of yours, that's also a good place to start. A lot of it's trial and error. You know, I've been with some great coaches. I've had some worse experience with some. But I think if I was to say the coaches I've had Milos, who was great. Alex Kickle from America, who was just a lunatic.
Just a what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Alex Kickle was just a lunatic. He was like a mad scientist, basically. Always no application for himself. You know, he got on stage in Australia and looked like a bag of shit. And when you coach looks like a bag of shit, that's something to look for.
That's a red flag.
Red flag, yeah, red flag. Bill Viz, great, knowledgeable guy, bit of a lunatic as well, in terms of his mentality. But we're still friends, so hope he takes that if he listens to this with a pinch of salt. And then Jordan's been great. I think the great thing about the relationship I have with Jordan is I have an equal amount of input into the decisions we make. So I think that's a great thing with a coach, is to have that relationship where you can suggest things and then not just turn around and say, no, you idiots. Fuck off.
We did hear that from AJ Morris, by the way. He did say that you will contribute a lot into your plans, as well as obviously JP's supervision.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it is. It's a supervision.
Yeah, that's how I think it has to be, isn't it?
When we're at our level, we've got enough experience to just need that kind of eye and that reassurance.
Yeah. It needs to be a working relationship where, you know, you can speak to a coach and say that you don't think something's working, and then, like you say, not just throw it back in your face and be like, no, well, this is what we're doing. Just crack on with it. They need to have an open mind enough to realize that you've worked with your own body for the last 10 years in bodybuilding, and they should take on board what you have to say about yourself. You know, that's what I have with James. He's happy to hear me out if I say, no, I don't really like this. I'd rather do this. I know this has worked for me before. And then
Who did you work with, John?
James Nwellen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I went with James because he just paid. He paid not paid attention to me. Like I won't get attention. He paid interest in me. He had an interest in me, you know, before we was even working together. You know, he was messaging me, seeing how I was getting on, and obviously he's had some good guys. I went to where was it? It was at the British, and he had like 3 guys. Like one guy won the overall British Men's Physique Masters. The other guy got second overall, and he's like younger guy won the overall in his category. I was like, fucking nice. He's fucking pretty decent. But before that, I'd already had a relationship with him over the last year of just speaking to him on Instagram, and I just got on really well with him as a bloke.
Yeah.
And that was really why I went with him. It was more just because I got on with him.
Yeah.
You know, because I have confidence in getting myself in shape. I'd rather just work with someone who has experience to offer. He's been on the Olympia stage. He's been around the block.
Of course.
You can get people in shape, but
Yeah.
I get on with him really well.
I think that's important. Getting on with your coach is very important. You know, that
I was about to mention that. Yeah.
100%.
I think that's the biggest thing for me.
I think because I mean, John and I always talk about, you know, bodybuilding being an art, and it's very true in that sense. I mean, we're all paintings, in my opinion, and a coach could be the artist of, you know. And you need, if you're admiring an artist, you need to look at his paintings.
Yeah.
And look at the guys he's bringing out. You know, like look at his track record. Say that again.
Very spiritual.
I love this shit. I'm you know, I could be Kai Green with this, and I could be a big mouth just like Sean Ray as well.
Kai Green's doing my nutting lately.
Oh my God! Don't even. Let's not start on that.
Afros and masks and shit. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Sabotage.
Crazy, man.
Sabotage.
Melon man in everywhere.
Yeah, he's a nutter.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, there's a question here, or a subject someone suggested we should quickly brief. All right, which is diuretics.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, this person had bad experience with diuretics. He's taken a lot, looking smooth, skinny, fat, you name it. So he wanted us to talk about it, and you know, obviously take the professional opinion. In my opinion, don't take it.
Skinny fat, he probably just weren't in shape in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm not being a dickhead. There's probably just, you know, that might be.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. A lot of people.
A lot of the times, guys will take diuretics thinking that that's the last. It's peak week, baby. You know, you dry out, you drink your wine. Never done that. You take your diuretic, and then overnight you are fucking shredded.
Yeah.
Don't happen like that. You've been shredded 4 weeks out if you're ready. Or 2 weeks out, something like that. You know.
Yeah, it's not the kind of survival savior, is it? A diuretic. It's not going to save a prep. You need to be fucking fat free. Yeah,
I think it could only improve a physique that's already good. I don't think it can really salvage. You know, because if you've still got body fat, you still got body fat.
Yeah, man. My you know, the last few shows I've done, I've used a tiny bit of diazide. It's literally the icing on the cake in terms of when we do the carb load, we're going to hold a little bit of fluid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just having that, I call it a safety net.
Yeah, yeah.
No, just a tiny bit, quarter of a diazide the night before, bit of extra pisses through the night, job done.
Yeah, that's exactly what I done. I used a quarter diazide the night before, and a quarter diazide the morning of as well. I think. I didn't do it for my first qualifier for the British. I did though, so I think it just made an already, forgive me saying, but a good physique into a better physique. It definitely just pulled that last little bit in. I think, like you say, when you put that extra food in, it is safety net. You know.
I think it plays a huge. I wouldn't say a huge even. I would say it plays a part when you travel. A lot of guys hold water on the plane, and if you're competing overseas, guys, it probably could work, as you said, as a quarter diazide or half a diazide. That is more than enough for you to get rid of, you know, that small bloat, you know, that you get from the plane, plus the food, obviously. I mean, it depends on when you get to the other side, you know, where you're competing.
Zero carb it through the plane right there.
Some people carb load over flights, man. You know, some not everyone can get to the show 3-4 days before or 5 days before.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, So it is tricky, but then I think it depends on how the person looks, man. I've seen guys travel without and they don't need the diuretic. It's just a dangerous game sometimes.
Yeah, I've used aldactone in the past when I was with Milos. He loved aldactone. I think that was something from like the late 90s that was just used by all the bodybuilders, and it made me feel like utter shit. So I would like to say aldactone is off the radar for anyone. Diazide's quite mild, isn't it? So
Diazide's a little bit safer. It's a bit more, isn't it? A bit more predictable. Like if it goes wrong.
Yeah, I think it's quicker as well, in and out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pull things back in.
In the Middle East, they still use Lasix.
Yeah,
and that is a no for me.
Yeah,
for me.
Anything like that. My friend, he was getting prepped by Alex, actually, the mad scientist. And what did he want me to try and get for him? Not that I get anything like this, guys. I think it was injectable Lasix.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I could get the tablet form off somebody.
Yeah.
We wanted the injectable form. And on top of this is what Alex prescribed him. Injectable Lasix. I think that was a week out. Aldactone a week out. And Diazide for the last 3 days.
What?
I was like, man, that's crazy. And he looked,
how's your kidney, dude?
Yeah, he was still alive, but he didn't look great.
Is he on dialysis?
It's just mad, that's the thing with coaching that's bad. You've got people like this with no accreditations, no credibility. They just literally, this guy's fucking listened to someone's YouTube, regurgitated the information on his own YouTube so he sounds clever, got a load of clients, and then he's fucking doing all this crazy shit with people.
Yeah, fuck that. That's not the one. I'm always see-through with my guys, and I always tell them that I'm not a scientist. I'm not that guy. Don't come to me if you're looking for that. Training, posing, I'm your coach. Don't come to me if you're thinking I've got some mad skills with drugs.
Like we said earlier, the simple methods work.
Yeah.
People always wanting the quicker results, the latest, greatest piece of information out there. Guess what? Don't exist.
Yeah. No.
Have you heard of something called aldactazide?
No, I guess that's a mix of both, right?
That's
like what I took in 2018. I was struggling to make weight. I mean, I was 93, 94, but I was ready at that point, but I had to be 88. So I was thinking, you know what? I dieted that long. I have to do the show. So I flew out to Hungary.
Yeah.
So flight there, I started pulling back on the food a little bit just for me to obviously trying to get lighter somehow. And I ended up like 90, like 2 days before. So obviously I had to take so much of that and for me to make it at 88. But the funny thing is on weigh-in, I took all my clothes off and, trying to make weight, and I'm nervous and I'm cold, that's how bad it was. I started feeling cold. My the tip of my fingers, my toes, I'm running on nothing.
Yeah.
I made it 87.8 and I was like, yes. And the guy just turned around to me. I was like, why are you so worried? You've got up to 93 kilos. 91. And I just looked at him. I was like, why? It's like, yeah, your guys are getting the pro weights now, just as a gift, as a first show in Hungary. I was like, you fucking assholes! I killed myself. I couldn't get a pump in the prejudging. I had to go have pizza and all sorts of crap, in between. And then I got called back in, and I went from 9th place to 6th place. But that was just a bad experience.
Yeah, thanks.
But that's what I mean. Say that again.
Thanks for telling me about the extra 5 kilos.
yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, why didn't you mention it on an email? But diuretics could work well if you know what you're doing, guys. But if you're not confident to know what you're doing, don't even touch it, guys. Seriously. I've seen guys just because they think it's carb loading, they could get any type of carbs and they get bananas and they end up getting, cramps and ended up with a stroke, like you could end up with clots and all sorts. So if you can move away from it and get lean, being, if you're not lean enough, as John said, that means it's not ever going to work.
I think in your amateur years, I don't think you should be really worrying about. Well, not necessarily your entire amateur career, but definitely the first few years of bodybuilding. You should be trying to get shape without it, ideally. That's just my opinion.
Right. So I think we've covered quite a bit, guys. I think we have to wrap it up and go and eat as usual.
Wrap that shit up, man.
Thank you very much, Jamie, for for being around with us here today, and
nice,
John.
Pleasure. It's been fun.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I appreciate it.
Definitely hook up. I think when I nipped to the toilet, John. I'm not saying I was thinking about you when I went to the toilet, but I did go outside and these thoughts just come to me. So I have to I thought, you know what? We'll make the visit to your ends with the training and the posing, the YouTube video.
Yeah.
So if you want to organise a videographer your end, I'll bring Jay, the Magic Eye Man, down, and we'll get it on fucking camera and sort it out that way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm down to do it.
Great hookup, especially with us both being in prep as well.
Yeah.
John, when's your seminar?
August 8th. That's already booked though.
No, it's fine, because I just wanted to know, because you invited me over to help out. But I'm
sorry. Yeah, come down, man. Yeah, August 8th. Doing another
I think we should film that and obviously put it down on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I've got
just for other people to see, and
I've got to come down to film it. I've got a shameless plug. In 2 months, I've got member site coming out with all poses and stuff. Anyway.
Oh, bless you.
Nobody else is doing it.
Happy days.
And I think JP, I think you've done a couple of videos in that, but I don't think it's really going to be a main thing in JP's world. I think you've got training and stuff wrapped up.
Is that members only?
Well, yeah, it's a members site.
I'm worried about that now. I'm worried about that.
You're not getting no special pass either. You got to pay full price.
Yeah, I'm charging you more because I don't like you.
Guys, I know we're supposed to wrap it up. But I need to mention something.
Go.
Jamie, you're clueless about this rivalry in British bodybuilding when it comes, in that division. You called Michael Double out, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. He texts me.
Yeah.
Saying, is that true what he said? I said, listen, I'm not going to tell you if it's true or not. I'm going to tell you to go and subscribe to our channel and listen to the fucking podcast.
Of course it's true. I think one of my, I know you want to call it little fanboys, whatever. He's a 15-year-old lad. He follows me. And he messaged Michael saying, John Lofthouse wants to compete against you again because he said he wants to beat you. and then he screenshotted it and sent it to me, and he's having this whole conversation, and Michael come back and said, nah, he wouldn't say that. He's a good athlete. But Michael, I have said it, mate, because I know you said shows are only won from the back, and I didn't beat you just from the back. I beat you from every shot. So I completely and wholeheartedly respect you as an athlete. You're a good athlete. But yeah, I do want to compete against you again, man.
All right.
All right.
All right to say? Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, that's Michael. Yeah.
He's a good athlete, but he said that I won't win Alicante, so I'll be competing in Romania against him probably. So we'll see what happens. I know
he's not ready right now. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. He's not in any shape or form ready for anything.
Fortunate to have
he's been out of the gym for that long. Plus, last year he had a weird injury, and I don't know, Jamie, do you know about this injuries that some guys get, where the shoulder blade does not come out anymore? It just gets stuck inside, so your lat doesn't actually get pushed out. Does that make sense?
Like impinged.
Yeah, it's you've got no control over the shoulder blade at all. So his side, one side was completely flat, and one side had a hanging lat. So last year,
excuses.
Probably just training like a pussy.
Yeah.
No. It's an actual injury because it was there, and then it disappeared.
Got you.
He something happened that he couldn't push his lat out anymore, and
that's why he didn't beat me.
Let me show you this.
That's why he didn't beat me from the back.
Go on, Jamie. Go on. What do you have to say?
That's why.
I was flicking through photos because I don't know if you watch the Fuad podcast, but they like roast people every now and again, don't they?
Yeah, we do that as well. So roast him.
So I'm going to roast this motherfucker because this guy's pulling off a classic pose in jeans and a fucking shirt. Can you see?
I can't see it. I can't see it.
Who's doing a head tilt in the fucking jeans and shirt?
No, that's the Sandow.
That's when you got your clothes off only, man. Come on.
UG Sandow.
That's the Sandow look. You know, the Sandow stand.
One roast only.
Yeah, well, it's good enough. It's good enough. At least the viewers and the listeners can.
I want to compete against him again.
Yeah. Do you talk on the stage, Michael? What do you fucking play?
But this is what he said. He replied to the kid, and he said, "Talk is cheap." And I said, "Talk is cheap. I already beat you."
Yeah. Well, I had a big running
He's the one
debate.
that said shows are only one from the back on Instagram.
2011, 2012, 2013.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He looked so proud of himself when he said that in that context.
He had the hyperventilation.
Yeah. That's not crying. Shit.
He was like, that was...
Oh God, guys, it was amazing. Thank you very much, guys, for being here, both of you. I really had good fun here. I hope you guys had some fun. What's your Instagram, Jamie?
It is AKA the Giants. If you don't follow him already,
everyone probably follows him already.
Yeah, well, just in case, we can just throw another 5 on him.
I was
John
hoping you could throw
Lofthouse.
some to me. That's the whole point of this.
John Lofthouse, IFBB Pro, and myself, the Dictator, Faisal. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and until next time.
Awesome. Thank you.